in your corner.
Hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful, great day.
A hot day.
A hot day. Hey, a hot day in July. No, it's August.
It's August. It's flying.
It's so hot.
School's starting.
I forgot what month it was.
I tell you, it's moving on.
It's so hot. How hot is it, Trip?
It's so hot we didn't remember what month it was.
Hey, that was me. That was mine right there. So now I'm asking you.
I just memorized before I came in the door.
Oh, you did?
I know what month it was.
You did? Man, how the heck are you?
I'm great, as far as I know.
As far as you know?
As far as I know.
Well, that's good, because you're going to be great anyway. I still have to ask that.
That's what.
And that's so pleasant to always talk to you, because somebody could have robbed you on the street before you got up here and got $5,000 off of you. You still come up to the show and I say, how you doing, Trip? Doing great.
Doing good.
It's all about that attitude.
It's all about attitude. It's one thing you can choose. You can't
Exactly.
choose much else.
Exactly.
But you can choose your attitude.
Walton Law Firm.
Walton Law Firm.
CEO, owner, operator of this prestigious, magnificent law firm.
Well, we think so.
Well, you gotta. That's why you are, because that's what you think, like you said.
Yeah. You got if you don't believe it, nobody else will. We just signed two big death cases in the last week, so apparently other people like us too. It's amazing. The small traffic, rear-end collisions, small cases have virtually disappeared this summer. I don't know if people just aren't having wrecks or the big advertisers are getting them, but we have signed probably 6 or 7 death cases, wrongful death cases, from 18-wheeler wrecks and car wrecks, different, it's been amazing. Been a sad summer for families.
Oh yeah.
Because they're not expecting that.
Right.
So it's tough, but thank goodness they called us so we can help them.
That's good. And you're passionate about helping people, so that's
yeah.
a great attribute to have.
And I got a great staff too.
Great staff.
Yeah.
Trips Angels. We talk about them every week. So since we're on that line item right there, we'll let him brag on his office staff a little bit before we get into what Tripp's been up to lately.
Well, I've got 3 lawyers other than me. Keisha Abercrombie does criminal work. She was the chief deputy district attorney in Lee County for 10 or 12 years. I've got Catherine Munkus, who's been with me 13, 14 years. Mm-hmm. She's handled numerous huge cases. Settled one last year for $3.5 million. And she settled many a case and handles a lot of cases. And then Mallory Story, my youngest attorney, has, she spearheaded our $15 million settlement in April. Mm-hmm. She worked that case up. Mm-hmm. And she's had another 7-figure case just shortly before that one. And she's working on one that we just signed, an 18-wheeler death case we just signed Friday. She's in the middle of getting that ready to go.
Wow.
And what we do at Walton Law Firm is obviously wrongful death cases, tractor-trailer cases, tractor-trailer on tractor-trailer. It's so crowded out there, we do a lot of truck-on-truck cases nowadays. We do, of course, car wrecks and trucks, and then we do car-on-car. We do motorcycles. So if somebody's injured, whether it's a dog bite or, we don't do slip falls. Mm-hmm. We just have never been successful at them, and the law is so bad in both Georgia and Alabama. It's so stacked against you. So we don't do those. We don't even look at them unless they have surgery. Mm-hmm. And then once we take one with surgery, I always wish we hadn't, because the law is so bad.
Okay.
But anyway, if somebody's injured in any form or fashion, mm-hmm. we can take a look at it. If it's a single, one thing that people really miss out on a lot of times is single car wrecks. Somebody's riding down the road, they dodge a deer, something happens, and they get killed in the crash. Mm. We have those cars looked at. We look at the seat belts, see if they function properly, make sure the roof didn't cave in too easily, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
We have experts come in and do that.
Wow.
We do roadway cases sometimes. We just looked at a roadway case where a car hydroplaned and caused 1 death and 1 quadriplegic, and I think we had 2 or 3 other injuries. And they let the statute run because it had to be against the state of Alabama, and it's a 1-year statute. So it was already over by the time we got the case, about 16, 17 months after all the event occurred. What they waited, because our expert was the top expert in roadway cases in the country, and he said definitely a real problem.
Wow.
So, we do anytime anybody's killed or injured, that's what we do. and we've been doing it. I've been doing it for 37 years.
And you're successful at it.
So far, so good.
I know I'm changing routes, but if you get a chance, pull up an old picture of Jim McMahon, the 1985 Chicago Bears quarterback. There's a picture of him with some shades on. Y'all pull that up and tell me who that looks like.
Well, you know, since you sent me that, I grew my goatee back out because he had one. I figured I'd get me an earring and get my shades on, and I'd be sporting his look.
Now, the owner of this television station here thought definitely that you guys favored really,
Well, I'm
you
sure
did.
Jim and I have a lot in common. The only thing is he's only had one wife and I've had three.
Right. We
But I'm looking for number 4.
No, you're not.
Here I come.
No, because all your exes live in Texas. You remember?
Oh, Lord.
That's why you go up into the mountains in Tennessee.
I have bought a dog.
Okay.
I got a chocolate female Goldendoodle from a family in Dothan.
Goldendoodle. That's a
It's
good
2
dog.
weeks old, so I get it in about another 4 or 5 weeks. He said, you don't have to come down. One of my daughters goes to school at Auburn University, so we'll have her bring it up to you. She's going to need to know where you are anyway in case she has an emergency. So that makes sense.
All right.
So I got that going, and we're just looking for names now.
Now, Trip, do you have one that's going to get real large? Or this is one
It'll be about this high.
Yeah,
It'll be about
they're pretty big dogs.
35, 47 pounds. The way I didn't originally want one, but my ex-wife and her new husband and my stepdaughter, Riley, they have a big white one that's 13 months old. And she's 45 pounds, but she's tall. And she's got big old arms. She loves to move. She's like a person with her arms. So I just fell in love with the dog. I babysat it one time when they went to the beach this summer. When they went on summer vacation, I kept the dog and the cats at my house where they live in Montgomery. And so I just fell in love with the dog, and I decided I'd get me one.
Do you plan on getting this dog trained? Or
I'll just do it myself.
Okay, so because I
do it like
known
Daddy
somebody
did me, and his.
Who had some Labradoodles. Actually, one was very mannerable, but the other one, he was an outcast.
They can be high spirited.
Yeah, so that's why they would just recommend that you're able to do that. But you can do that. So that's
I
good.
can do that. I can find somebody in Auburn to do that if I need to, if I don't have time to do it. But I figure it'd be a good way to get to know the dog and work with the dog.
Well, speaking of life changes, not really getting a dog. Well, that's a lifestyle change.
It's a
But
lifestyle.
you got
I hadn't
something.
had one in a while.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Okay, we'll move on. You got a birthday coming up here soon.
I do. I'm only going to be 64 years old.
For a few more days, August the 15th. Okay. Any special plans that you can tell our audience about?
Well, I'm going out to eat dinner with my sister, my second ex-wife, and her new husband.
They have to be included, don't they?
Yeah, I got an extended family. It's a family affair. Yeah. Well, she cooks good still.
Okay.
And Randy, her ex-husband's become my best friend.
That's right.
We were talking about that today. He told me we were out eating the other. We spent this weekend together at the lake. She was in North Carolina on a girls trip.
You spent the lake with your ex. Your ex.
I'm living there right now. I'm living there till my new ex-wife gets out of my house in Auburn. When you pay all the bills, people don't hate to see you coming.
Oh, Trip. I would ask you that again because I don't know if they caught that or not, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. But we were sitting down in a restaurant this week, Saturday night. No, it was Sunday. We were over to Spring House, which is an extremely nice restaurant over in Alex City on the lake.
Okay.
And he said, I think everybody in Montgomery and around this area just thinks it's odd that we hang out together. And I said,
that's rightfully so,
I
Trip.
guess they do, but I guess they don't understand that I'm no threat to you. I'm not coming back.
Okay.
I mean, Jackie and I are friends. We'll always be friends, but I'm not coming back. I mean, it's just out of the question. I'm friends with Beverly, who I dated 8 years before Jackie. I've had lunch with her twice in the last couple of months. I'm friends with Jackie Parham, who I dated before that 30 years ago for 8 years. So,
I guess I got it backwards. I do. I need some help in that category.
if I'm going to live with somebody 8 years or marry them, either one, I've no sense in being ugly. I mean,
I got you.
I don't get all tore up about the money. I just write them a check. It's just not a big deal. And I feel like, when everybody understands that's the way I do it, that's what the line's out to the interstate from my house next. There's a method to my madness.
I see.
Ooh, I got to get in line.
Yeah, exactly. I got to get in line. 'Cause he got it.
He got it. I want me some of it.
I want me some of it. Well, anyway, we'll move on to United Way. What you just recently did something with United Way?
I don't know. They tell me I did.
You participated in United Way's Stuff the Bus?
Stuff the Bus, and we did the Girls and Boys Club, something or other gala. I'm sure we did that the other night.
Okay.
And anything else that moves out there, we've donated to too. But we're big in the Boys and Girls Club every year, all the time.
Okay.
That's sort of my favorite place to.
Now, why is that important?
I think people need, they do such a good job, and the kids get a lot out of it, and a lot of kids need somewhere to go after school,
okay,
so they don't get in trouble and they're not just wandering the streets. And their parents work. A lot of both, or they're single, have a single parent, so it really helps a part of the community.
Okay, and I know they appreciate it.
They do.
Because you've been doing that a while.
I have been doing it a while.
Yep, I think ever since I first met you.
And we've always done it.
7-8 years ago, I think you were doing it then. So and you were doing it before then. Okay, all right. Well, Trip, wow. April's going to do a documentary on you one day. I know we already talked about it, but we need to get everything. We got to get somebody.
I wish I hadn't thought on, but I kept diaries for that very purpose back in high school and college because I knew they'd want them for the movie one day. And I woke up one day from late college and I said, what in the world am I doing? I threw all that stuff away and just cleared my mind.
Just cleared your mind.
So now you just have to interview other people. I'm not documenting it anymore.
Well, you have a hard drive up here in this head, and you got a great memory.
I got a hard head.
We just pull it all out of you.
Get before my mind goes.
Get before your mind goes. Okay, well, good. All right, well, no.
I'll tell you one thing we're doing at Walton Law Firm. The gym, we're getting better on. We've ordered all the equipment for the gym.
All right.
We're going to get about $75,000 worth of weight equipment. We got the sauna. We got leg machines. We got a row machine, a treadmill, elliptical, bikes, all kind of stuff.
Okay.
Pilates stuff. We're going to have really nice for my staff.
Just for your staff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure other people edge the way there somehow. I just don't want to get it where I don't get to use it.
Right.
Because with the pandemic coming again, I would not be going out to a public gym.
Right.
And if I have my own gym, I don't want to let too many people in where I can't use it.
Right. That'll defeat the purpose.
Yeah. So I'm getting ready.
You're getting ready?
I'm getting my own stuff going.
And that's what we're getting ready to talk about next.
Because the pandemic is here.
But what a lot of people forget this process right here. And we talked about it before. Doing what you can to stay as healthy as you can to keep your immune system up.
Right.
And working out is a key element to building your immune system.
I tell you something else I do. I take vitamin D3 and zinc.
I take it every day. Been taking it.
And so I'm hoping, since I've had several employees who've had COVID, that I've worked with. I mean, I worked with one the other day, 5 hours in her office, ate my lunch on front of her desk while we were working on an emergency complaint. And she called me that night. She said, I'm not going to be able to come in and finish it in the morning. Could you get somebody else to do it? I said, why? And she said, I think I've got COVID.
This was 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, she did. So thank goodness I didn't get it, and none of the girls in the office that had shots got it. And let's talk about that, because hospitalizations in East Alabama Medical Center and Lanier system have increased by 18 people in 1 week. So for the 6th day in a row, they saw an increase in COVID hospitalizations going from 26 on August 3rd to 44 yesterday. The increase of 18, the organization's highest total since 45 patients with COVID in February the 15th. And then the highest ever, they've got 45 as of today, unless people have come in today.
Okay.
But the highest they had in January, on January 13th, was 92. So they're almost halfway there. Okay. Which is not good.
Okay.
Of the 44 patients hospitalized today, 36 are not vaccinated. 81.8% are not vaccinated, while 7 are fully vaccinated and 1 is partially vaccinated. So you do have a small percentage of people with both shots who are infected.
Okay.
it's interesting to note that they only have one patient on the ventilator at East Alabama Medical Center, and they say that they're going to let us know why less patients on ventilators with the second pandemic than they were the first time around.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one.
And I don't know if that's going to square up with statewide stats, but that's what East Alabama says. Mm-hmm. So this is as of 3 o'clock yesterday. Alabama testing positivity rate is 23.3%. There are 2,134 confirmed admitted patients statewide, which is an increase of 783 since it was 1,351 on July 31st. So,
wow.
Of the 2,134 patients statewide today, 33 are pediatric patients, which means 21 years and under. Mm. 33 are young children and young adults.
Okay.
628 are in the ICU and 318 are on ventilators. Mm. So I don't know if that's going to prove out what we said earlier. They're supposed to let us know why ventilators are lower this time than the former pandemic. But I can't wait to hear that, because I can't imagine anybody being on a ventilator. It's very difficult.
True.
Currently, there are 87 or 6% of ICU beds available statewide. So we're about to run out of beds. I think, Birmingham is almost out of beds. There's 1,402, 18% of all other beds. Now, let's talk about deaths.
Okay.
There are 27 confirmed COVID-19 deaths reported yesterday, and that was on August 8th, so 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
So, like we talked about the last show, maybe the last two shows, is we want people to try to get out and get their vaccinations done, because the percentage of those who are sick now and or dying are really people that were not vaccinated. So, if you can get that done, that'd probably be a good idea. Talk to your doctor about it. Then the debate now is really about how young to give shots to children.
Right.
I had some friends the other day that told me they just got their 14-year-old vaccinated before school started. So, it was a male. Maybe a different reason for girls not to get vaccinated. I don't know. I do know that I've spoken with a pregnant baby doctor. She is a doctor.
Okay.
And she had the shots herself and recommends that you get them. Mm-hmm. So, you see it all over, but then other people say, no. It causes clots, it causes all kind of problems. So, I don't know. All I know is it's getting time. If you're going to get them, you need to get them pretty quickly, because it's back.
Right. And it's back with a vengeance.
You took words right out of my mouth. Mm-hmm. It ain't playing.
It ain't playing.
So hopefully we can get through it without losing too many more people.
I'm still mind blown of some of the people who see what's actually going on. They hear what's actually going on. And I understand skepticism, I understand that, but still, they're like, I'm not getting that shot. I don't care what my underlying
tons of
issues
healthcare
are.
workers that work in the hospitals.
Uh-huh.
You got tons of folks who are quitting their jobs because they're just so depressed with this doesn't have to happen.
Exactly.
These people don't have to be here. All they had to do was go get those shots. They were free. They're not painful. You don't even feel it. And so tons of them are retiring, according to what they show on national TV. And then there's a whole other group of them that won't get the shots. And the excuse that the FDA hadn't approved it, well, everything they've ever approved, half of it's killed people. I mean, what are you waiting on them for?
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm not waiting on them. And again, so far so good. So who knows? Maybe you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, depending on your condition. Uh-huh. It's like one of my friends who recently had COVID told me that she was going to get the shot as soon as she could, because even if it made her sick for 2 or 3 days, it would beat the heck out of what she just went through.
Okay.
So, and I've had several people that have had it tell me that.
Right. Okay.
And they tell me that if you've had it, your immune system does not fight it for about maybe 3 months,
3 months
or so.
It was 6, and it went down to 3 now.
Yeah. So they got to, do what they got to do to get the shots.
And my son's actually he's 16, so he had to get his follow-up shots. Being a junior, meningitis and all that. The don't make me lie, HVP, whatever that vaccination.
Yeah.
But anyway, she asked me I want him to have that, but I just decided not for him,
Yeah.
you know, being 16.
Well, he was just having a bunch.
Yeah, and then, like all this stuff don't.
It's just like it added.
It's like making a mix. It's
when
like a
I'm taking
Long Island iced
prescriptions-
tea. You keep putting.
Yeah, even if I'm supposed to take 2 prescriptions in the morning, I'll take one at 5:30, and I wait till 7:30 to take the other. Like
Exactly.
it makes it
Exactly.
like I'm not mixing them.
Exactly.
I just, I've had clients come in bad car wrecks who've got like, 30 prescriptions they take for
yeah,
everything in the
yeah,
world, and
yeah.
then this wreck. And I just can't imagine taking that many. Of course, I take that many supplements.
Exactly.
I probably take 35 or 40 supplements a day.
I take about 9.
Yeah.
Because my philosophy is I always want to have more vitamins in the cabinet than I do have medication, prescription
Exactly
medication.
Right. Exactly right. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And some people say it's expensive into the toilet, but that's okay. I'm good with that. I'm running it through anyway.
Exactly.
Maybe if it doesn't help, it doesn't help. But I'm giving it a go.
Exactly.
I'll be 64, and so far so good.
And people don't realize that as you get older, your body doesn't produce the things that it used to produce when you were younger, so it needs help. That's why we have supplements.
That's why you got supplements, and the cells have got to be energized.
Exactly.
I think start a new algae supplement to energize the ATP in the cells and clean them out and make them function good. It goes through the brain, blood barrier in the brain.
Okay.
So, and of course, when you got Parkinson's, your brain can be, you don't ever know when it's going to go. Hope not anytime soon. Every time I have a little dizzy spell, I think, oh my God, it's fixed to get me. It's coming after me. And I have to have a little talk with myself. Fight it off mentally. I'm not ready for it. I just draw a red circle around it and a red line through it in my mind and move on. It ain't fixed to happen. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Because I'll stop it.
I'm going to throw something out there, and I'm going to see if you know what I'm talking about. Like, as we're going to talk about it next. That Governor Kay Ivey is talking about this new game she's spitting. So she's spitting that game. So tell us. that's some of that rap terminology, spit that game. So she's spitting some new game at us.
She is. I'll tell you what she did, and probably a good thing. She signed a bill into law out of the Alabama House and Senate, which passed with no votes.
Okay.
In other words, everybody was in the bus. And the bus is about having saliva testing done at a DUI stop or in crash sites, and let's talk about it's not new.
Okay.
The new part is it now comes under the implied consent law, like in the DUI stuff. If you drive a vehicle, you imply, because you got a license, even if you don't have a license, if you're driving a car, it is implied that you can be tested for your urine, blood, or breath for alcohol.
Okay.
And or drugs, and or a combination. So they've been using the saliva test in Alabama, but if you declined to do it, there was nothing they could do about it. So now they have put the saliva testing under implied consent. And what is significant about the saliva testing? Well, they've discovered this over the since 2019. More people are positive for marijuana in wrecks than they are with alcohol.
Okay.
But there's really no way to quantify the amount of marijuana in the system. Plus, this is a problem. Marijuana will stay in your system 6, 7, 8 days if you're a regular smoker.
True.
So they take the test, you show positive. Well, don't mean you've had anything to do with marijuana for 2 or 3 days. Let's say you smoked the weekend, like a fiend. You don't smoke till Friday night again. So you go through the week, you have a wreck on Wednesday, and it shows marijuana. Well, the difference is with short shelf life drugs like cocaine, which is out of your system in 2 hours, heroin, which is out of your system in 2 hours, and several other drugs. If they take a saliva test at the scene of the crash or the scene of the arrest, and you're positive for one of those short shelf life drugs, they know you had it in your system from whatever happened in that car happened. So they can use that to stack on in their proof to find you guilty of whatever you're guilty of. Let's say you ran a stop sign and you kill somebody, you make guilty of manslaughter, vehicular homicide, or murder if you're coked up. So we have a new law in Alabama. It's probably something that's good. And like I say, they've always, not always, but for the last several years, they've had it, but they had to ask people to do it. And another thing, most small towns are not going to have the capability and the technology to do this right off the bat. They're not going to be trained, because when an officer is taking spit on the scene in a murder case, let's just say somebody's killed in the wreck, they take the spit, the state tests that it's had cocaine in it, so they charge the person with murder, manslaughter, vehicular homicide. That's what they indict him on the criminal side. The question is, what do you do? Well, I mean, the police officer has to get on the stand to testify. He has to follow all the protocol of most forensic evidence. He has to, get it, seal it, send it. Then the people who receive it at the lab have to testify they opened it, what they did with it, what they tested, do they save the sample, where if I'm the defense lawyer, I say, well, wait a minute, this was 6 months ago, I want to test it, I want my experts to test it. Did they save the sample? So you got all those legal loopholes. So, it's not going to be easy, particularly for small town operations like, let's just say Lafayette, Roanoke, Beulah. I mean,
Standing Rock,
all those kind of places. How are they going to get the training? How are they going to get the stuff? And so it's going to be difficult. But Hoover, Mobile, Huntsville, they'll be doing it.
They'll be doing it.
Something I found out today preparing for this program is that Huntsville has the #1 most DUI arrests in Alabama, and guess who's #2? Auburn, Alabama. Which is good, since I'm a DUI lawyer and I have a big DUI faction down there. So call me, Auburn.
Why not Tuscaloosa? Why have to be Auburn?
I guess
Tuscaloosa hiding something.
Tuscaloosa is probably more friendly to their students.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah. Or maybe they get their revenue to build their streets and whatever somewhere else. Auburn has always had an interesting relationship with their students. If they're drunk and driving, we're going to arrest them.
Right.
We just always have.
Okay.
So, I can't think anything much on that topic other than don't spit on them when they're drawing it.
Man, all of that process, I guess you really can't stop anybody from tampering with it if they wanted to tamper with it. I know that's hypothetical, but or
they have to prove it's not tampered with. They've got an initial here when they tape this off, then they close it back. It'd be very interesting to see how that's going to work. It's going to take a little work to get it done and smoothed out. There are going to be a lot of trials that's not going to work in initially, probably.
Okay, all right.
And the same, you have the implied consent with alcohol and all that kind of stuff too. So let me say this: if you don't take the saliva test, you don't give them your spit. Same thing happens when you don't do the DUI test at the station after you've been arrested. Your license is going to be suspended for 90 days for the spit or the alcohol. So now let me make a point. At an alcohol scene in Alabama, you do not have to take the breath test at the car. That has never been approved by the Department of Forensic Sciences. So you can decline to take that. But if you're arrested and you go to the station, you cannot decline to take that one, or you will lose your license for 90 days. Over and above, on top of whatever, if you're convicted, you lose it another 90 days if it's the first time. So anyway, a lot of stuff there.
Interesting facts. Well, Trip, it's been another great show. Always a pleasure sitting down and talking with you.
I'll be a year older next time.
Exactly. Next time I talk with you, you'll be 64.
I'll be feeling it.
Okay, and you'll be divorced.
I am divorced.
Okay, yeah,
all 3 wives are gone.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
We don't start the fight, we finish it.
Car accident, DUI, wrongful death? Contact the Walton Law Firm, 334-321-3000.